Hey, welcome back to class. So in today's class, we're gonna add another strike as we continue to practice our previous strikes, and we're gonna add a few more combinations. So let's go ahead and let's get started with reviewing our previous strikes. So we're gonna start off with upward strikes, 1 through 3. So go ahead and start off with upward strike 1. Do it a little bit for me. Should look something like this. Raising it straight up. Now I want you to go upward strike 2. Right, and we've got that outside spin as we do that upward strike number 2. Make sure it's nice and tight whenever you're going for it. You should hear this sound. Try and get close to my mic so you can hear it. Right, you should hear that sound. It shouldn't be where it's pretty quiet, it's not going over the side of the chuck. Make sure you hear that, keep it nice and tight. Now upper strike number 3. Here, drop it down, bring it, tip down, bring it forward, and that should put the chuck right into your hand for that upward strike number 3. Keep this going. Now let's go to downward strike number 1. Should look like this. Make sure when you catch it, you're catching it horizontal and catching it in that black. Now let's go to downward strike number 2. Let's do side strikes now. Side strike number 1. And go first. This is the over-under. Going over the shoulder, catching it under the shoulder. We have that upward number 3 as our reset. Now let's do sideways strike number 2. Go ahead. This would be our under over. And then we reset by going up and around the head. From here, let's do our forward strike number 1. So let's start here. Go ahead. What does it look like? Now, are you able to get that popping sound? It's a little bit difficult. Let's do a few on one side, and then switch sides, and do a few on the other side. Okay, now let's do variation strike number 1. So it's a downward strike, and then a sideways strike number 1, and we reset with that upward 3. Keep this going. Now let's do variation strike number 2. Downward, and then it's a sideways number 2. So our under over, bring it over the head. From here, keep doing variation 2, and I'm going to call out a strike, and I want you to go to that strike. Downward 2. Upward 3. Side 1. Up 2. Up 1. Side 2. Variation 1. Forward strike. 1. Give me 3 on one side, and then 3 on the other side. Upward strike 1. Upward strike 2. Upward strike 3. Downward 1. Down 2. Side 1. Side 2. Variation 1. Variation 2. Forward strike 1. Other side. And take a breath. Next thing that we're going to do is going to be upward strike number 4. Okay? So with upward strike number 4, it's pretty similar to upward strike number 2. So I want you to really understand the differences. Upward 4 looks like this. Upward 2 looks like this. All right, so like I said, pretty similar. Remember when we talked about circles or figure 8s, and we have our small figure 8 here, right, or our small circle here, and the rotation point is at the tip of the chuck, right? Now, I can make it slightly bigger by having the rotation at my wrist, and notice how the chuck stays relatively straight as the string. The two chucks typically move together a little bit straighter as we're doing this. Okay, so we're gonna be doing that with this, and then the upward 4 goes up and at this angle from hip to shoulder. We rotate at the wrist, and then we come upwards, right? So it's gonna be a bigger motion and a bigger circle out to the side. We're going up and then straight up, right? Up at an angle, straight up. Now the upward 2 comes mostly straight up, and then it has this tight circle, so it stays a lot closer as I do this. I'm not reaching out, so this will be a 4. I'm rolling at the wrist, and this would be a 2. I'm rolling at the tip of the chuck, and again, it's gonna be a little bit tighter when I do that, as opposed to this bigger motion towards the outside. Okay? So like I said, they do get a little bit confusing. They are pretty similar. They used to be something different, and so I asked about this because I was confused. I was like, why? Why are they so similar? Apparently number 4 used to be a sideways strike and then an upward strike, but they wanted it, because it's an upward strike, to have both portions of it slightly angled upwards. So instead of just being sideways and then up, it became up and up, which is why it looks a lot more similar to side or upward strike number 2. Okay, so let's practice upward strike number 4. Make sure we're going from hip to shoulder, rolling at the wrist, and flicking it up that center line. We got this bigger motion now. Roll out the wrist. See how the chucks are moving together kind of like it's a stick. That's how they should be moving with this one. Up at that angle, roll the wrist. Up at the angle, roll the wrist. Okay, so now to keep them separate, let's go ahead and do upward strike number 2. Bring it straight up to that center point, right to the solar plexus. We're stopping at the solar plexus, and we're having the rotation at the tip of the chuck instead of the whole wrist moving. Tip of the chuck. Keep it nice and tight. And then 4, that bigger motion. Roll the wrist. Out and up, out and up. And 2 again. Four. 2. You should hear this sound for each rotation. You won't hear that on 4, right? And so I want you to be able to hear the difference whenever you're doing that. Keep this going. Let's go to 2. Hit that sound. And 4. Roll the wrist. Take a breath in and out. And the next thing we're going to do is combinations. So we're going to do a combination, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to tell you what the combination is, and I want you to do it first. Combination is upward number 4, variation number 2, and sideways strike number 1. Now remember the resets after variation number 2 and the reset after sideways number 1. So what does that look like? Start here. Upward strike 4, variation 2, bring it over the head, sideways 1, and then I go up. From here, I drop it down, and I grab again, upward 4, variation 2. Make sure you're doing this along with me now. Bring it over the head, sideways 1, over under. Raise it up, and again. Up 4, variation 2, over the head, side 1. Up 4, variation 2, 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 side 1. Keep it going. You don't have to go too fast yet, but if you feel pretty comfortable with it, feel free to go faster. That's fine. Up 4, variation 2, side 1. Up 4, variation 2, side 1. Up 4, variation 2, side 1. 4, 2, 1, 4, 2, 1, 4. That was a bad 4, 4, 2, 1. 4, 2, 1. 4, 2, 1. 4, 2, 1. 4, 2, and 1. Okay, so now I'm going to read off another combination for you, and I want you to do this one now. Downwards 2, sideways 2, variation 4. Try it again. Downward 2, sideways 2, variation 4. Okay, so we're starting here. Downward 2, sideways 2. Remember our reset over the head, and then upward number 4. And then we repeat on the other side. Down 2, sideways 2, upward 4. Down 2, sideways 2, upward 4. Down 2, side 2, up 4. Down 2, side 2, upward 4. Down 2, side 2, up 4. Down 2, side 2, up 4. Down 2, side 2, up 4. Down 2, side 2, upward 4. Down 2, side 2, up 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 4. 2, 2, 4. 2, 2, 4. 2, 2, 4. 2, 2, 4. A few more. 2, 2, 4. 2, 2, 4. 2, 2, 4. 2, 2, 4. 2, 2, 4. 2, 2, 4. Take your breath in. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to do speed strikes. So we're doing 60 and 60, and so we're trying to get 60 or more in 60 seconds. And we're going to be doing this with our upward number 2 strike today. So I'm going to get timer ready. So remember, what's our upward 2? Here? Okay. So why don't you go ahead and start in basic stance number 4. This one, right? Remember basic stance number 4? Do you remember your basic stances? Basic stance number 1, stance number 2, 3, 4, 5. Hopefully you do. So start off basic stance number 4. Upward strike number 2, 60 and 60 seconds. Ready? Set. Begin. Make sure you're counting them. And we're not doing 4. Remember, the rotation is at the tip of the chuck whenever I'm doing this. You should hear that sound. I'm not rotating at the wrist like I would be for 4. I'm trying to keep that hand on that center line and the tip of my chuck also in my center line. Keep it going. whatever you got, however many you got, hopefully you got above 60, but whatever you just got, your goal is now to be better than you just were, right? So for this next set, I want you to try to beat whatever you just got. If you beat 60, right, say you got 75, well, now your goal is 76 or higher. If you only got to 40, well, your goal is still 60, but you definitely want to make sure that you're going better than 40. Obviously, sometimes mistakes happen, and we can't help it all the time, but give it a shot. Okay, I am going to be counting this time. Ready, set, begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 67, 68. All right, 68 didn't finish, so 67. Were you able to beat 60? Maybe, maybe not. So you might have noticed this one's harder than when we just did upward number 1. I got 67, when in upward number 1, I got 87. Okay? It's because we have that extra spin, right, well, it'll be this way. I have that extra spin on there, which definitely takes a little bit more time. So it's understandable that it would be slower, but I still want you to try to beat that 60 and 60 mark. Ideally, we can get all of our strikes. I think the hard one would probably be like number 3, because sometimes you just still get that. But the ones that go directly into your hands, those strikes, I want you to try to beat 60-60 on all of them. That's going to be our baseline goal. And some of them will have higher goals, but baseline goal, 60 and 60. Okay, so next thing that we're going to do is we're going to do gripping. What a surprise. We're still working on that. So gripping, 30 seconds. Ready? Begin. And I'm not counting, but I do want you counting. Work on just making it nice and smooth and fluid. Keep the tension on the chucks the whole time. Don't let the strings go loose and then tight again. Makes it harder to control. Try to just spin it time. Just kind of spin it like a wheel and just keep that momentum, keep that flow going that whole time. Okay, next set, I will be counting as I have been doing. I still want you counting each time. Try to beat me. You know what my goal is. I know what your goal is. You're trying to beat 40. Or if you've been consistently beating 40, you're trying to beat whatever it was that you posted on the last video. If you don't remember what it is, well, good thing you went back and commented and told me how much you got. Go back and check and then beat that goal. Okay, so ready, set, begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 15, 16, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61. Okay, 61. Cool, just beat it, just barely, but it did. What'd you get? Let me know. We got one more set. Shake out your arms if you need to. Whatever you need to do, maybe stretch a little bit. Ugh. Get ready, set, begin. So sometimes, right now I do want you going for speed because I set that timer for you. But sometimes if you just go here and you just practice being fluid with it, this is what you really need in order to be able to go faster. Because you just need to get the motion down and just really feel comfortable with it. And then every now and then, what we're doing right now, you set a timer and you push the pace. And then whenever you're not setting that timer, just nice and leisurely practice your gripping, right? Sometimes if I'm just talking and I didn't tell you to do something, then you can be doing this, or just any other time, right? Just practicing dropping it like that is a really good thing. But no, just practicing doing the gripping, even if it's at a slower speed, just to get the feel for it, will help you get that speed. And then every now and then we really push the pace when we set these timers. Okay, so comment what you got down below. Tell me what you got for your 60 and 60 for your upward strike number 2 and for your gripping. I want to know, and then I want you to be able to know when you decide to go back and look at it next week. Okay, from here we're going to do something new. You've probably already been doing this just in between classes. It's just not something I've done in the classes so far. I want you to just freestyle, okay? So I'm going to set a timer, and we're gonna do this for about 3 minutes. And we're just gonna play around, do whatever techniques you know, and then do some techniques you don't know, right? Just play around with them. It doesn't matter if you drop it, pick it back up, and play around again. So any techniques you want, it does not have to be the things that we've done, but I would like you to incorporate some of the things that we've done, okay? 3 minutes, ready, begin. Just play around. If you want to literally just practice the techniques that we've done, you can do that too. Nothing wrong with that. You want to practice moving, right? I want you to practice just being able to change hands easily, doing all of these different strikes that we've been working on, and move around a little bit as well. Try not to stay completely still unless you just can't yet. Maybe your hands and feet don't quite work together yet, but I want you to try moving around just a little bit. You don't have to move around a whole lot, but this practice here of just constantly changing hands, doing these different patterns, right? This is what you're gonna need for sparring, because one of the rules in sparring is that you have to have 2 hand changeovers before you're allowed to strike, and it can't be over 1 second since your last hand changeover before the strike. So you have to basically stay in motion, changing these hands whenever you're getting ready for sparring. And now, obviously this is for a sport sparring, it's not for combat chucks. If you're doing combat chucks, it'd be a little bit different. But for the sport WNA style, you have to have the hand changes. So you want to be able to move around and to change your hands and get ready to be able to strike whenever you're doing this. So just keep going, whatever you want. If you want to just review the techniques, we've got upward 1s, you can do upward 2s, up 3s, now we've got upward 4, got downward 1s, downward 2s, sideways 1s, side 2s, variation 1s, variation 2s. We got forward strike 1. So those are all the techniques that we have gone over so far, and gripping. We've got gripping too. All right, gripping counts as a hand changeover before strikes as well, so you can practice that. So if you wanted to just practice that, that's fine as well. If you wanted to try something that you saw from some other YouTuber or some Instagram video and they did this cool trick and you want to try that, this is a great time to do it. Play around with it. Sometimes I'll just mix up and I'll do other style of Nunchaku as well, right? In between doing the WNA style, I'll do maybe some ASN style strikes. Right? Play around. And that's time. Okay, take a breath in and out. Now I'm going to just quickly recap the things that we've gone over today. We went through and reviewed all of our strikes. Again, our strikes that we had learned in previous lessons were upward 1 through 3, downward 1 through 2, sideways 1 through 2, variation 1 through 2, forward strike number 1. Today we learned our upward strike number 4, which is similar to our upward strike number 2, except for we have this wrist rolling motion and we're going off and out past that shoulder from hip to shoulder and looping it big, not with a small loop, but a big loop where the wrist is what rolls. After that, we did some combinations. The first combination was upward 2, or excuse me, it was a upward 4 variation 2, bringing it over the head, and then a sideways 1, and then after that we reset and then repeat. From there we did the second combination was a downward 2, a sideways 2, bring it over the head, and then an upward number 4, and again repeat onto the other side. After that we did speed strikes. We were going 60 and 60, so trying to beat 60 strikes within 60 seconds. We did that with our upward strike number 2. And then from there we did our 3 sets of gripping for 30 seconds, trying to do 40 and 30, and we're trying to beat that 40 gripping mark. From there we did a little bit of freestyle. So this is our first time doing freestyle, and we just played around and did whatever strikes we wanted, or even just maybe some tricks that we saw on Instagram that we thought were cool. And again, when you practice these freestyle motions, I do want you to practice moving around a little bit. You don't have to go super fast. I haven't gotten into any footwork patterns yet, but I do want you to kind of free flow with your feet in preparation for some sparring. Hopefully you enjoyed today's class. If you did, let me know. Smash that like button. You already subscribed. I know it because you're here on class number 8. And then comment, right? Help me out. It helps me when you comment, but it also helps you because you get to remember, and I'm telling you what to comment. I want you to comment your gripping score, and I want you to tell me what you got in your 60 and 60. Okay? Other than that, have a great day, and I'll see you in the next class.